Alright ladies, so here's what's gonna happen. If we get a free kick on the edge of the box, Jennifer, I want you to make the dummy run. Megan, you're then gonna run over the ball. Christine, you're gonna have to lay it off at that point. So realistically, that's when Janine... Yeah, nah, bun that noise. I've got something planned of my own. Listen, I can explain. Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This is of course the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, there's been several strikes at TfL and UK Rail, causing a havoc for UK residents trying to travel anywhere, and most were unable to even get into work during the week because of the lack of trains. It was a tough time for Uber drivers trying to transport 87% of the London population at once. Celebrations were wild when you actually got your taxi accepted. Board members at Derby were concerned, seeing they're gonna have to pay over £20 on travel next month. I've got nothing left. And despite government pressure, TfL stayed strong and firm, continuing the strikes into Thursday. But not all of us can take Thursdays off next season. The next station is third place in the Azerbaijani Super League. What? Where? It's been a mixed bag of a week for Arsenal, who agreed a deal in principle to sign Brazilian forward Gabriel Jesus from City. He failed to win the Champions League with Man City, so he's now decided to retire from it altogether. The poor kid was traumatized, getting forced out of bed for his medical by Man City reps. If there's one man who didn't want trains to be running in London, it's probably him. Your next destination is... I swear, shut up. The board heard Arteta say that this squad needed Jesus, and now look, he meant actual God, for crying out loud. The backroom staff are going to be escorting him off the premises themselves once they realise he can't actually walk on water. He's going to need to know how to turn water into wine when Arsenal go 2-1 down to CSKA Sofia. The guy's going to be under serious stress. He might have to share a wing with Cedric Suarez. Even the Most High can't link up with him. Cedric puts the intervention into divine intervention in that combo. He'll build up some thoughts on Thomas Partey's 45-yard screamers pretty quickly from training. I love ambition. Absolutely fucking love it. But in this game, you've got to fucking walk before you can run. Meanwhile, I'm scared there might be a bit of a breakdown in communications up front. Hey, Cabby, put a cross in. Hey, a cross. Luke Shaw's just glad that he's not gone to United, because he's not ready for any kind of Last Supper. In terms of my actual opinions here, I think this is a really good deal for Arsenal. I'm not someone who's rated Gabriel Jesus like incredibly highly over the last few years, but I think for where they're trying to go, he's definitely going to provide an improvement for them. And for him, he's probably going to get more game time than he did at Man City, so it should work for everybody. But if news reports are to be believed, Arsenal might have missed out on a different Brazilian star, as Chelsea have agreed a fee with Leeds for Rafinha under the Gunners' noses. Judas. Turns out him crawling away on his knees at the end of last season was him just trying to avoid Arsenal negotiators. He's one step away from them turning up at his door. Now, could you spare a moment for us to tell you about our Lord and Saviour, Gabriel Jesus? Arsenal fans seem confident in the deal happening as well. We've got their reaction after being asked about all of the YouTube Welcome to Arsenal videos. I think, from my point of view, I think it can be a little bit early, you know, with, as the people predict. One fan even claimed to know a family member involved in the deal. Whoever this family member was adopted, it would seem. Chelsea fans are warming up to nab Arsenal-made compilations on Twitter. Meanwhile, Edu must be frustrated waiting in the queue now behind Chelsea negotiators. Imagine the disappointment for Mikel Arteta when Martinelli says he can use his Brazilian connections for signings, only to recommend Edu himself. Fam, this doesn't even make sense. He retired like 20 years ago. We all know what happens from here. The squad are going to be gutted seeing Willian walk into training as the new Brazilian star man. Chelsea seem like they're ready to splash the cash here as well, with Raheem Sterling and Rafinha forming a £100 million new forward line again. Now, where has that gone wrong for them in the past? Meanwhile, poor Callum Hudson-Odoi, he's not getting a chance. He's got to realise he's now 16th in line as a winger at the club. And finally on Arsenal, I swear this episode's not just about them, but the Arsenal All or Nothing trailer has dropped for the upcoming documentary following the Gunners. Spoiler, it is nothing. It features some behind-the-scenes footage of the Eddie and Nketiah talks. We'll give you 200k. Lads, I only want 100k. Like, you don't have to. Fine, 250k. It shows Mikel Arteta to Kieran Tierney finding out the Scotsman has picked up his 8th injury of the season.
Oh my God. There he is. Look at this twat. Look at this. prat. They do it on purpose.
You need a subscription to Amazon Prime to watch the show, but he has a subscription to the NHS. He's watching it now from his physio room. The premiere's gonna be a disaster. Ben White's not even gonna turn up because he doesn't watch football. Granit Xhaka's tackles make the whole documentary 18 rated. Bukayo Saka can only watch it with parental supervision. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see this. On the face of it, like, if you told Arsenal fans they finished 5th, that's a positive season for them. But a capitulation at the end of the campaign was just too funny. As well as the first episode, as highlighted by Hibs, who beat them in a pre-season friendly in embarrassing fashion and reminded the Gunners of that on Twitter. It's a shithousery award for the Scottish side. In other news now, and yeah, so that is going to wrap up football this week. Long-time Liverpool fan favourite and club icon Sadio Mane has officially joined German giants Bayern Munich this week on a multi-year deal, and I am depressed. More so because the final offer was probably a £25 Centre Parks voucher and a packet of digestives, knowing them. It's sad because I'm sure, like every other Liverpool fan, I have a strong affinity to Sadio.
He's the best football player in the world.
Bayern welcomed the Senegalese forward on Twitter as well. However, the translation is not so great.
What do you mean by that? I beg your pardon.
Mo Salah put a heartfelt message and comment on Instagram, and Sadio himself responded, this is wholesome, man. They did love each other after all. Oh, that's an adorable message. Let me just reply. Wait, what's that in my face? Meanwhile, in trying to get the scoop for the deal, Sky Sports thought they had an exclusive on Sadio arriving at the Bayern headquarters.
Can you hear me? Maybe
yes,
we can
of course
try
we
to
can.
get a live from him.
Sadio Mane's there. You speak to him. You the man.
We go to Sadio Mane and ask him if he wants to say for Sky UK something.
There he is. Oh no, hang on a minute.
Wales captain Gareth Bale has officially left Real Madrid this week and joined MLS side LAFC. He joins Giorgio Chiellini in making a move from Europe to the American franchise, and I wonder why he's made the move to the US in the first place. Yeah, nah, that makes sense now. Let's be honest, that man definitely has a 362 days per year golf clause in the deal. The poor other LAFC players don't have a chance at getting paid now. Seeing Gareth in the dressing room, fresh off putting practice on 300 bags per week. Meanwhile, they're on £8.49. The Champions League official Twitter page posted this on who's most likely to sink this golf shot. Thomas Muller replied with Gareth Bale. Am I right? And I can already see the future when the MLS side's boss tries to actually get Gareth to come off the bench for the final 7 minutes of a pre-season friendly.
For me, I can't do it.
You can! You can do it, you can!
Over at United, and it's been a whirlwind of a week for them too, with an apparent breakthrough in a deal for Frankie de Jong and a fee agreed for the Barcelona midfielder. This sounds great, but it's United. These lot do an MI5 investigation before signing someone. United scouts have been working out what to offer this guy since November of 2019. His predicament is tough though. Stay at Barcelona with one cheese string's worth of assets, or go to United, a team in disarray that's just finished 6th.
It's like having a choice of two blokes to nick your wife.
If I was him, I'd have a plan in place for the day of his medical.
I woke up sick. I've been sick for the past 3 days. The first thing I did this morning was sneezed 3 times.
Meanwhile, Sky reckon they've got a breakthrough on the story again.
You the man.
Is that De Jong? It is! Barcelona incredibly wanted Harry Maguire involved in the deal, going in the opposite direction. Barca, you want to be bankrupt and sort out a fridge warranty at the same time. Yeah, fine. The worst part is, of all of this, is that United rejected it. In fairness, him and Ronald Araujo's communications are going to be somewhat limited. The other 19 Premier League clubs would have been devastated seeing him go. But let's be honest, it's probably for the best. He's getting flip-flapped at least 3 times a game in Spain. And Spanish police are crazy. You can't get away with punching one of them, bro. New United manager Erik ten Hag also arrived at Carrington for his first training session. We've got live scenes of him addressing the squad after the first set of squad rondos.
You come out like this! You fucking taking the piss! All of you at the front there. Unsustainable. Fucking no good to no one.
Marcus Rashford looked lost during Ole Gunnar Solskjaer ball, and that didn't even have any tactics in it. The guy's going to be finished under Ten Hag. Anthony Martial's back from his loan at Sevilla, but he's not exactly lighting it up on the training ground there either.
He's done it!
United are expected to dip into the Dutch market quite extensively now they've got Ten Hag as manager. This Paddy Power tweet gave off a list of names they could go for, but darts champion Michael van Gerwen said he was a Champions League player and wouldn't drop down. Nah, that's a shithousery award. That's outrageous. Man City midfielder Phil Foden was videoed in a heated argument with his girlfriend whilst on a holiday in Corfu this week. We've got an exclusive on the rest of the argument here. Phil, you said you were going to Iceland. Yeah, and I did. Yeah, for the shopping, not for a girl from Iceland, you dickhead. You must be sick. Guys, yo, come on, let's just chill out for a second. Harry Maguire's in the background punching somebody up because that's what he does when there's an altercation in Greece. Phil's gonna have a tough time explaining how he was found in bed with 6 women after a Greek night out.
Well, you know, it was just a heat of the moment thing, and obviously I massively regret it.
And his girl was not best pleased when they got back to the hotel.
Adulterer!
I need to
When
take-
you had, excuse me, and you're an adulterer!
At Newcastle, and Sven Botman of Lille is arriving on the scene to sign for the club. He looks absolutely delighted. Meanwhile, they've announced their new away kit for the season, and it looks slightly familiar. This isn't Saudi Arabian sports washing, this is sports drenching. Speaking of kits, and Southampton's new home kit is out. Oh, I can't lie, their new wing backs that they've signed might struggle to keep up with the pace of the Premier League. Meanwhile, Michael Owen's daughter Gemma is still name dropping him on Love Island. During the show this week, all the Islanders were challenged to give a lap dance to their partners. And it's fair to say Michael was not enjoying this on his own TV screen, but this emoji is still technically watching through the hands. Michael, is there something you'd like to say? Her Love Island match had been involved in more semis in that episode than Michael Owen has in his career. To be fair though, the quality of the dirty talk, not exactly great. Yeah, let me whisper in your ear. So basically, how helicopters fly is that using the spinning blades on the top and at the back, the helicopter moves the air. Meanwhile, England have reached the Under-19s Euro final with a comeback win against Italy. Finally, we've got absolute revenge for the Euros. Ladies and gentlemen, it is coming home in 2037. Now, FTW regular Neymar has been linked with a move away from PSG. He's had a bit of a mixed bag, a tumultuous time, shall we say, at the Parisian Giants. And he said his dream is to win the Champions League again, meaning he's officially leaving PSG. One man who's already left Paris Saint-Germain is Angel Di Maria, and he's turned his hand to something new this week.
Come con alegría, con fideos Di Maria. Quieto.
Fideo Di Maria, el fideo del campeón.
3 minutos más, 3 segundos más.
Yeah, if you could just... You don't have to hold that pose. And hell, please, come on. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. We've got places to be. And hell, please. Kevin Prince Boateng is staying on at Bundesliga side Hertha Berlin, and they announced his new contract extension on Twitter in the form of him cooking up a kebab. Meanwhile, Martin Hinteregger, formerly of Eintracht Frankfurt, has announced his retirement this week, apparently 2 weeks after trying to set up a football tournament with a business partner who happens to be a neo-Nazi.
Bang, see you later, you go in prison.
Ralf Rangnick's been Austria manager for like a month, and he's already exposing people there as well. He did distance himself and apologise for even attempting to start a football tournament with this guy. Throw Frankfurt out of the Europa League and get West Ham in the final, in my opinion. Belgian side Cercle Bruges have announced their new badge this week, and it's literally their name, but in a circle, because Cercle, get off the stage, man, this can't run. Their Belgian Pro League rivals, Beerschot, were happy to violate them in response. Italian side Venezia confirmed they're branching out into a new section of social media this week, and that for anybody who was about 12 years old, they were joining TikTok. Meanwhile, Carson Pickett made history this week, becoming the first player with a limb difference to play for the US women's national team. Now, I have never heard of anything like this. Like, forgive my ignorance if I am missing out on something here, but I don't know of a player with one less limb, for example, playing for a national team anywhere before. I hope herself, her family, and her teammates are very proud of her. But now it is time for your goals of the week, and we start off in Colombia, where Yerson Candelo in the Colombian finals picked up the ball in his own half and decided to ping it straight from there. Over in Latvia, and Raymond Krollis picked up the ball from deep as well, but took a slightly different approach to scoring.
Krollis jau second pozīcijā,
And we've left the best till last here, because over in the Norwegian 3rd division, with his side 2-1 down in the 94th minute of the game, goalkeeper Morten Grasmo went forward for a corner.
Og det vakkert! Og for en skåring! Har du sett? Ai, 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 ai! Morten Grasmo!
Are you crazy? A 94th minute equaliser goalkeeping bicycle kick. This is FTW heritage.
Well done, he's 13.
Over in Turkey now, and they're the providers of some wholesome content this week. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, and we've got a ridiculous story there, of Katsina United versus Remo Stars. Now, Remo Stars equalised in the 92nd minute of the game. Their opponents then basically rioted and took down all the cameras broadcasting the game before forcing the referee to play out the game until they scored, being in the 34th minute of additional time. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Closer to home now, and I've got a feeling that Manchester United fullback Brandon Williams might like this picture of him here. Burnley have brought in a new signing, winger Scott Twine.
Hello everyone, it's Scott Twine here. I'm delighted to sign for Burnley and I can't wait to get started. Up the Clarets.
Nah, this guy's a massive Tory.
Delighted to sign for Burnley.
When he talks about the Clarets, he's on about red wine. If Sean Dyche was still there, he's getting sent to Scunthorpe for working class work experience. Over in Argentina, and River Plate were linked with 2 Luis Suarez's on the same day. Here we can see the Uruguayan thinking he's #1 for shirt sales, but it's actually the other one. In Sweden, and Malmo versus Helsingborg's got a little bit heated this week. In Poland, and Lech Poznan have got underway with their pre-season. Waldemar Baranski scored as classy a goal as you're ever gonna see. In Scotland, and this Forfar fan was not too pleased with the goal conceded against Dunfermline. Make this guy the manager immediately. Meanwhile, in Ireland, and Galway United's most recent league match had to be paused for a moment after a duck entered the field of play. Now, shouts to Galway United, they sent me all of the footage for this one, and I've got to say the club's latest winger is really making a splash.
I'm getting cooked.
In Bosnia now, and FK Velez's fans celebrated their 100th birthday in the city with these incredible scenes and a firework display. Back in Argentina, and we've got probably the best own goal of the week coming from Banfield. In Saudi Arabia, and big dogs Al Ahly were relegated to the 2nd tier of the nation's system. Their fans were devastated, but the side they were battling in relegation that stayed up, being Al Batin, held on to their place in the division with only 1 fan in the away end of the crowd. Over in Georgia, and it was a bad day at the office for Daci Pokadze, who scored 2 own goals in 1 half of football for Lokomotiv Tbilisi. In Malaysia, and this goalkeeper's got absolutely no respect for his opponent's effort on goal. Meanwhile, elsewhere in Asia, and the police force seem to be a little bit distracted. Now though, it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, there's been some serious crackhead energy to come out of this nation footballing wise recently, but a story this week takes the biscuit, because Marius Croitoru left FC Botoșani this week after the owner of the club told the boss that his son was not good enough to play for the starting 11. Naturally, the 41-year-old didn't agree, and so resigned from the club, became the manager of FCU Craiova a few days later, and then signed his son for them instead. Over in Tanzania now, and we've got the customary goalkeeping howler from there. Slightly more purposeful, potentially, as a goalkeeping howler over in Mongolia, where I can only describe the following clip as a drastic and blatant example of match fixing. In Nigeria again, and there were crazy scenes for Kano Pillars, where their chairman ran onto the pitch and punched a linesman after disagreeing with a decision he made. In Russia, a former ice hockey player took part in a Dynamo Moscow friendly match. We're back with the goalkeeping stinkers, this time with a Dominican shot stopper struggling with a ball into the box. And in a women's tie between Chile and Venezuela, the goodest of boys entered the fray and got exactly what he deserved. Now that it's time for Still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now, this is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. This week we're over in Africa, where some friends are taking part in some amateur football there. They might not get paid to play, but what they will be paying for is a new window.
Hey, Jesus. Boy, I'm going to video. I saw a movie.
Yeah! On to the weird stuff though now. Over in the Bhutanese Premier Division, that's a first, they've never featured. There's some ridiculous scorelines coming out of there. One side won 16-1. In the same week, the FC Takin and Namla played out an 11-3 scoreline. Over at Mineros de Zacatecas, and their official cameraman has had an absolute howler, taking a picture of their latest signing in front of a wall that had a penis drawing in the background. In Sweden, they celebrated their player Steve Trawali winning man of the match by giving him a leek, literally the vegetable, at the end of the game. And finally, in India, their governing body decided to pay an astrology agency a serious amount of money to attempt to motivate their squad ahead of the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers. Now, you might wonder how on earth a group of astrology experts are going to motivate a team of players, but in their most recent qualifiers, they beat Cambodia 2-0, Afghanistan 2-1, and then Hong Kong 4-0. At Liverpool, if you want to do the same. That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.